Well friends, we have moved to pocket option and now let's continue here and start our trading. In this video, I will simply show my strategy, which I have also already shown in my videos. I just want to show, again as in my last video, how it all works in practice. Now, we will trade on OutGP. I looked at some currency pairs here a little. They have just opened for us. So I sat down to analyze from early morning. I have already looked at everything a little. And in terms of the most favorable percentages, namely in terms of payments, OutGP and EuroBUT are currently leading. I'll start with OutGPI. Immediately at the 15-minute interval we go here. And what do we see here? For us, as soon as a trend appears, we can even roll back and see what the trend was before. Before that we had an upward trend. As you can see, you can also look at it yourself, it doesn't take long. Just quickly click there, for example, on 1530. And you can already see what we had last week. On weekends, our untested pairs are closed, so those who didn't have time, who don't know how this trend went, you can take a look. And so, let's get started now. Let's move on to the most interesting part. 15-minute interval, what we see here. The beginning of the trend is like this. That is, with an upward trend, which we had before at the end of last week, it is already starting to slowly reverse. That is, it has set a ceiling for itself. It is already starting to create a new minimum from the ceiling. The trend is reversing, and thus we are already slowly settling into downward positions in our trend. What do we see here? The first hill, the second hill, and from this hill we have already started a reversal here. As we can see, good rollbacks have already appeared at the 15-minute candles. And now let's move on to the 5-minute candles. Let's see how things are going here. We're looking at it little by little. So our last candle is bullish, which has already formed here. So let's go to the minute and see what's going on here. What's going on here is the following picture. Well, as I have it all figured out in my head, as I understand everything here, we will have a small turn, most likely here. Therefore, we can even probably do it like this. Let's go here for, well, even probably 2 minutes will be enough for us. 2 minutes for a decrease of $150. For 3 minutes also for a decrease. I opened 2 such transactions, and we will now also continue to build on these 2 transactions. So for now we are waiting for our trend to build further downwards. And already, most likely, a little bit later, somewhere through, well, probably even through these 2 transactions, we will most likely take a reversal. Because here we have a downward trend that most likely will simply not be built. A very strong impulse trend has been built here. An upward trend has been built, so we will push off from it to the upside. Therefore now we are simply taking minute deals, and on shorter ones we are taking that very hole that she created for herself here. We are trying to seize the moment when the trend is slowly reversing itself. That is why we have opened 2 such deals here so far. And for 2 to 3 minutes, by the way, that's probably it. Although even if I opened for a minute, I would still get a plus. Also, by the way, here I think it will be possible to open even a 15-minute deal, although no, not yet. It will be risky. Let's better see how the trend will behave here. Suddenly something will go wrong and the trend will decide to completely reverse itself to the downside. So for now we watch, observe and wait for our deal. There are still 30 seconds left for our first deal. For now, let's switch to the euro out. Let's see how things are going here. Here, if I'm not mistaken, we also have an upward trend. So no, we don't have an upward trend. I'm confusing it with the euro dollar, I think. So here we have a trend that is currently reversing. Here below, of course, if a second candle had been built, then I would have been much more confident that we would have been able to enter there too, only on the rise. But we have a bearish candle built there, so we will only go to OutGPI now. So our first deal turns out to be a plus. We get a plus of 78%, of course not that much, but still profitable. Still there is a good profit from this in any case, if we provide a good analysis here. But as you can see, I did a quick analysis, looked at how the trend is going here. Someone might say, what kind of analysis did you do? You didn't even draw anything here, you didn't do anything. Why should I draw? Why should I now do something right here in detail through these modifiers and so on? Turn all this on and off. Why do I need it when the week has just begun and everything is visible to the eye? How things are going here, how we can start from here. Everything can be judged purely by the switches, so we calmly go in and bargain. But also, if anything, you can use the strategies that I have already given in my previous video lessons. There is a zigzag strategy, which I repeat every time. because I love it, because it is the most effective, the most efficient this year, and it was very efficient last year, so I recommend using it. Our second deal is also going through, so let's wait for this candle now. Let's see how it will build itself now. But most likely the bearish candle will remain, so now we will look at the next candle, how it will build itself in the first 30 seconds on the minute interval. But I think that here it is simply correcting itself for now. Here is the price here. Although it is with us, it will simply undergo a small correction at this point. And then, from this hole, the price of this currency pair will again bounce back upward. So, there is no need to rush here for now. So let's just wait literally 30 seconds. I think that's enough. If anything, we will open up now in any case because we still have an upward trend. And plus to this, the bulls are also not lagging behind on the minute interval. This is all clearly visible, and we have a small hole here, as I will repeat again. Therefore, as it seems to me and as I think, here the price is simply correcting itself for now. Therefore, we will push off from this position. Let me open for 3 minutes to increase the first transaction. And let's put 5 minutes on the second deal. That is, now we have opened 2 deals for an increase for 3 minutes and 5 minutes. This is 5 minutes, therefore 5 minutes, therefore. Now we will also wait for them, but at the moment, most likely, we will also add shorter deals for a minute, let's say for 2 minutes. So now we are also waiting for all this. We will see, and it will be very disappointing. There is also a moment, if the price does not correct itself here, and the bears want to lead the trend, then this square is ours, it will break through and another bearish candle will be built. It is unlikely that we will be able to push off from it to the increase. Therefore now we are just watching, looking. Here we have a good volume built by the bears, but in any case it's not a big deal. You can even do it, as it seems to me, like this, $300. Of course it will be big, but I'll take it here for 2 minutes on the rise, like this. I'll do it this way. In an upward trend, when we have situations like this, well, this is all visible on a minute interval, let's say. Here is the same hole. That is, when the price behaves upward, is built in such hills, when the price rolls back and then again compensates for another new maximum position, then usually with such small reversals and with corrections like these. Here, when such a volume is built, this rectangle is broken through, it behaves in one direction, that is, it corrects itself like here, then we can push off from this. Of course, I advise you to push off, let's say, open it from below for 5 minutes and that's it. You will most likely get a plus from this. But on the condition that you have an upward trend, that you have this hillock, or rather this hole, it is not long on a minute interval, but let's say like here, it began its course here, slowly alternating itself with candles, and here the correction has already begun. Therefore, if you have approximately such a situation on the trend, then you can push off from such volumes in the other direction. When it goes, that is, we have an upward trend, and here it behaved in the other direction. So here you can calmly push off, well, let's say in the same way as I will repeat again, for 5 minutes already on the rise. I opened for 2 minutes, so now we are just watching. According to the first deal here, our 3-minute one will most likely already be minus, because there are 15 seconds left. Well, although I am in a hurry, so let me keep quiet. Zvecha shot up very strongly after all, and closed very high. In the last 5 seconds she started here and gave herself a good start straight up. Plus $150 for a 3-minute session, and we also have a double session. Everything is great. Well, as I said, even with such volume as we see, there are no tails, that is shadows. The volume is very good, it sharply went down, but we have an upward trend. The moment, as I will repeat once again, is when the price corrects itself. The bulls do not want to let themselves go, to put it simply. That is, the price does not want to go down, the bulls want to further enter their market, so here we have many more buyers. And the fact is that our price here is somehow starting to reverse itself. It breaks through this minimum there, which it left here after the rollback. The fact that it has come very close to it, and it seems that indeed, even opening a 5-minute interval, let's say, we see that here the switches have also built up well, or for 15 minutes it is very noticeable. That is, here after the rollback we have a large switch built up, and here some small bullish switch, and it seems that indeed the trend here will most likely be downwards. But if we look at how the trend has built up here after this flat situation, we see that the trend has shot up with a very strong impulse. And then we move on to the minute ones. What do we see here? What we see here is that the price rolls back at times, but compensates. A new maximum is created each time. That is, the price rolled back itself, hop a new maximum, and here we see just a long rollback. As we can see, the price is indeed going down, but longer than usual, because as we see here, the price went down and then almost immediately went up. Here, the price, when it behaves like this, it either starts to correct itself or actually starts to move downwards. But what is our situation here? Here the price has started to correct itself. Of course, there are situations. I am not saying now that in such moments the price will 100% go up. That is, even if your price has started to correct itself, it is not 100%, not 200%, not even 90%, not 80% that your price will definitely go up. So here too, you need to be careful. That is, you can just calmly open a 5-10 minute deal, but don't take risks like I did. That is, in terms of interest, I am of course now opening up to a large extent, but I have my own bank, so don't worry about it. But I advise you 1-2% for 5-10 minutes. If the trend is also upward, then just open for a rise. So what should we do now? I mean, for now we have, let's even see how many pluses there are. So at the beginning of the video, we have only opened 5 deals so far. 4 deals are already in the plus. This is a very good start to the day. I really like it. Wonderful. Just now, by the way, I sat down. Will be honest with you. So good morning indeed. Good morning begins for me. Well, and now, by the way, here will be a very good moment. Something that you can also catch. That is, if the price corrects itself, then if you see what you have built here with an upward trend, well, or with a downward trend, the same vice versa, built, let's say, such a candle. Here it broke through itself, that is, it entered here into the rectangle entirely, that is in one direction, without crossing these ceilings of ours and these floors of ours. That is, it goes, and at the moment it breaks through itself with such a candle. Well, either smaller or larger, it all depends on the trend. Then, from these candles, you can calmly not worry about having a minus or some kind of sideways movement, but calmly push off simply to the upside. Because, firstly, you have an upward trend, and secondly, with the correction, the price starts to take itself out, and this means that buyers have rushed straight to the currency pair you are currently sitting on, and that's it, you can push off from it. The same thing, by the way, works on OTC pairs, so I advise using it. That is, when the price breaks through the correction in one of the directions, that is, for example, either downward or upward, then you can safely open. Friends, I apologize that our video is a little shorter. I had to cut the moment, because, unfortunately, my microphone turned off for some reason. But it's okay. I haven't opened any deals yet. I was just waiting for the right moment and chatting a lot. So now we are here, most likely already going to end. So, because what do we see here? The trend began to pull itself out of this correction in such a situation that again it is building this rollback. And here what can we do? If we have such a situation and we have an upward trend, then we should simply take or leave this currency pair and wait for the moment when a new situation of some kind is built there and something important that you will see, then yes, you can enter. Or, like here right now, if you really don't want to leave this currency pair, but want to see how to trade here now. Because it is still clear that the price is going down, and you suddenly want to bargain very hard, the excitement will play, which is very bad, by the way. Then you should here, let me even, most likely, open 2 transactions, of course, at $75. But in such situations, of course, it is better not to take risks. Therefore, with such a breakthrough, as I said, we open for a decrease for a minute and 2 minutes for a decrease here, I open. So let's open like this. And now, what are we going to expect here? Most likely what I will expect here is that we will have a couple more bearish candles built. But if they are not there, that is, even now, if a bullish candle is built, then we can easily understand that we will simply have a V-shaped form built, from which most likely there will be a good impulse for an increase. Well, and on this we can most likely finish with you, because a small analysis quickly showed you everything. How to trade in such an upward trend, how to exit trades from corrections. And in general, by the way, I advise absolutely everyone, even what I told you, when the candle breaks through itself, I advise you to wait for the second candle. That is, we have this rectangle here. The candle broke through, like here below, then of course it is better to wait for the second candle. That is, we waited here, saw, that's it, saw a bullish candle, stopped, waited again, saw a bearish candle again, and from it you can already open 1-2 deals. The same with bullish candles. That is, if it breaks through, we wait for the second candle, see what it is like, and we are already opening. So we are bargaining carefully, without rushing. Well, that's all for me. By the way, our first deal for $75 was in the minus, and the second one most likely too. Well, in any case, I remain in the plus. The morning started very interesting and good. So thank you all for watching this video. You can also, and I generally recommend watching my previous video lessons, because there is a lot of interesting stuff there. There are several strategies that you will definitely like and with which you will get a good profit. Well, that's all. Thank you all. Bye everyone.